So this is your first numerical. What is this? In natural sampling, an analog signal GT is multiplied by a periodic trend of rectangular pulses CT, each of unit area. That means whatever the pulse is there, it has a unit area, and given that pulse repetition frequency of this periodic signal is f of s, and duration of each rectangular pulse is t, and there is a condition that f of st should be very greater than 1. So and do the following means we have to find out this 2 point, the find the spectrum of signal xt that results from use of a natural sampling. You may assume that t equal to 0 correspond to the midpoint of a rectangular pulse of ct. Okay, and second, show the original signal gt may be recovered exactly from its natural sampled version, provided that condition embodied in the sampling theory are satisfied. Okay, so how to do that? Anyone have any idea? So consider a periodic trend Ct and the rectangular pulse is duration t. Fourier series expression of the Ct is given by this. So if we take a rectangular pulse and if we express that rectangular pulse in the Fourier series, we can express in this form. Okay, repetition frequency and the amplitude of the rectangular pulse is assumed to be 1 by t. Okay, so in that case, this is the expression for your rectangular pulses. Okay, so the assumption was that previously we have seen that f of st is greater than equal to 1. So this means the spectral line of the periodic pulse ct are well separate to each other. That means, so if there is a pulses is there, and if we draw the rectangular pulses in this time axis, so they are separated well, means that they have a big gap between the two pulses. Okay, so now if we multiply the message signal gt with the ct, what we will get? So that will get the sampled value st, that's equal to gt into ct. So what over here, gt is the original signal, message signal. Okay, so now this is your modulated signal st, ct is the carrier and gt is their message signal. So now if we replace the value of ct, what we will get? We will get that expression. Yes or no? Just replace what is the value of ct over there. Okay, now if we take the Fourier transform of that expression, that equation, what we will get? And definitely when we are doing the Fourier transform, in that time we are considering the shifted property of the Fourier transform. Since that expression is multiplied with the exponential of 2 j2 pi n fst, so it is the shifted property of a Fourier transform. So now if we take the Fourier transform of this function, what we will get? S of f, that's equal to summation of n equal to minus infinity infinity f of s sinc n fst into g of f minus n fs. Okay, so basically what is the g of f? G of f is the Fourier transform of the gt. Okay, the frequency shifted replica, that means when you take the Fourier transform of the modulated signal, so that it is showing that there will be a replica which is separated after nth replica, and there is a amplitude amplification is there, and that value is, this is the constant value, the amplitude of the modulated signal, and that factor is this. Okay, so this is the final expression for your first portion, that of find the spectrum of signal ST. So we got that spectrum value. Is that clear? So next, so now if we assume that GT is a band limited signal, so that means we can say the G of f equal to 0 within this range. Okay, so if that G of f equal to 0 within this range, so and sampling frequency f of s is defined by the f of s equal to 2 times of w. So that means if I draw a figure, okay, so basically this is the two value. So this is your frequency domain f, and this is your amplitude. Okay, okay, so now in this figure if we see that there is a no value, because whenever we are doing the Fourier transform, in that case in this position, means if it is 0, okay, sorry, this point is the 0, and this point, what is the bandwidth of this, that's equal to your 2w. Okay, so this is the 2w, and if this point is center point of this spectrum is larger than the 2w, and that point is equal to f of s. Okay, so definitely there will be no possibility to overlapping of these two signal. Okay, so if it is happened, so now if we do the, or if we pass the G of f through a low pass filter, then what we will get? So we will get a signal GT which is exactly same as the original signal. So that was the sampling theorem. So basically what we are doing over here, we are proving the sampling theorem by taking a rectangular pulse for modulation. Okay, okay.
Sir, it should be low pass filter or band pass filter.
No, in that case you see, s of f is there, means s of f equal to, I, okay, so that should be the low pass filter. Na? Normally when we want to recover the your message signal, in that case what we do, we pass through a low pass filter, or it will be the band pass filter.
So, but in this case, G of f is 0 now for minus. Low pass filter will be for lower frequency now, sir. But for that, G of
No,
f
no,
is.
that, in that case, the spectrum I draw, this is for G of f. Okay. So now if I draw the spectrum of S of f, so what will happen? So in that case, if I draw the spectrum of the S of f, so it is the shifted version of the this. So forget about the amplitude portion. Okay, so we, if we only the consider the spectrum of the original signal, so previously we have seen the spectrum was there, so now it is the shifted version of the spectrum. So what will happen, there two one spectrum will come over here, and this point is a f of s. So again it will move some point over here. So that means, sorry, this point not is the f of s, this point will be the f of s. Okay. So now if I means this portion, if I draw the spectrum for the S of F, definitely it is the shifted version, and if we use the for all the values, so what will happen, we will get a signal over there, yes or no?
The band limited signal G of t is band limited, but so G of f should not be equal to 0 for minus W.
G of F should not equal to 0.
Yes, I according to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, there is the doubt. F GF is equal to 0 for F greater than or equal to W. Greater than W, not
Means
less than.
I hope that condition I have written, that is little bit wrong. Uh, just let me check on one thing is that the original exactly from its natural sampling and provided that condition is satisfied. Okay, so if we go to this, just a minute, sampling theorem. Okay, this is the band limited signal. Okay, the notation actually this that value what I written over there, this term will be the 0. uh,
Sir, here it is written, above, right corner, mod of F is greater than equal to W.
that mod of f is greater than equal to W, so is 0. So mod of f means the frequency which is greater than W, so that condition I have written over there. So actually this due to this notation that I did a mistake over there. Okay, so actually the mod of f is should be greater than equal to 0. That means uh, if I draw the spectrum, so previously, so we'll get the spectrum was this. This is your G of f, and that is your W. This is minus W, and this is your 0. Okay, so and this is your frequency. So now if we this is the shift. Now if we have that modulated signal this, so definitely in the different position there will be different spectrum, yes or no? So now one spectrum will be there, another spectrum will be here, like this periodically the spectrum will be there. So now if we pass through this low pass filter having the spectrum width of 2W of the low pass filter, so or bandwidth of the low pass filter is your 2W, so in that case this portion will be there, and the remaining terms it will cut the remaining terms, or it will remove the remaining terms. So that condition I have written, that is actually it should be this direction. Okay, so mod of f, basically mod of f greater than equal to greater than W, that should be the condition. Okay, so now is there any doubt if we take that condition, mod of f greater than W instead of that? So I hope there is no doubt. Do you have any doubt?
No.
So that actually the notation I have written over here, that is the wrong. This should be the mod of f is greater than or W. Okay. So now in the second numerical, Specify the Nyquist rate and the Nyquist interval for each of the following signal. So A is there. Three signals we have. A is the GT equal to sinc of 200t, and second signal is the G of t equal to sinc of sinc square 200t, and G third signal is equal to GT sinc of 200t plus sinc square 200t. So what should be the Nyquist rate for this first signal? Anyone? Tell me what is the expression for the sinc function?
Sin pi t upon pi t.
Sin pi t upon pi t. So now if we replace that sinc function with the sin pi t by pi t, so what will be the expression? Sin 200 pi t by 200 pi t. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now the sin 200 pi t, in that expression what is the frequency? Sin 200 pi t by 200 pi t. Okay, so this term, this is a constant term, and in this expression that means that frequency is depending on these terms. So what is the frequency for that sin 200 pi t? What is the value of f?
100, sir.
100, because we know sin 2 pi ft. Normally any expression when you calculate this your frequency sin 2 pi f t. So now if we compare these two terms, so f will become 100. So now if the f equal to 100, what is the Nyquist rate? F of s?
So that should be double of the frequency.
Double of the frequency, that means 200. Okay, what is the Nyquist interval? Ts. Ts equal to 1 by f of s.
5 into 10 power minus 3.
5 into 10 to the 5 minus 3, that means 5 millisecond. Okay, and that is in hertz. F of s rate equal to hertz. Okay, now for the second question. So second question, gt equal to sinc square 200t. So that is indicating that it is a multiplication of two sinc function, two sinc signal. So previously, okay, so that on the first time. So now, what should be the value for this function? Bolo, tell me.
400.
Basically, we can write sinc square 200t. That means 2 times of your, I mean sinc 200t into sinc 200t. Okay. So in that signal, how to calculate the bandwidth or frequency?
So we can solve the solve the term in order to get uh, in terms of cos and 2 pi
Cos.
ft.
Okay. 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 So that way you can do, and one thing is there. If we recall the property of Fourier transform, one property of the Fourier transform, and that is the convolution property. So in the convolution property, what is there? Multiplication in the time domain is equal to convolution in the frequency domain. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now if we think there is a two signal is there which is multiplied and we are convoluting in the frequency domain, that means the final spectrum for the frequency domain, it will be the summation of spectrum of individual two signal, that means seeing 200t and seeing 200t. So we divide it into two different signal. So when in the time domain multiplication means frequency domain convolution. So when we do the convolution, in that case if we want to find out the spectrum for this, so equivalent spectrum, if this is equal to f1 and this is equal to f2, so final spectrum f equal to f1 plus f2. Okay, so using this, as I was telling, the f equal to f1 plus f2. So that means if we know what is the spectrum for the individual seeing 200t, we can find out what is the frequency for the g of t, means seeing square 200t. So it will be equivalent to your 200. Yes or no? So you can check the process you told, means convert it into two function and write the sine 200 pi t by 200 pi t into sine in sine square 200 pi t. Okay, convert the sine square 200 pi t into your cos and you will find the same thing. Okay, so what is the expression sine square 200 pi t? So equivalent to what we can write? Forget about the amplitude portion. So it will change constant term. What is the frequency
So
for a
sine square cos square, it will change to cos 2 times something, 2 theta.
2 theta? So basically 2 suppose 2 sine square theta. 2 sine square theta equal to what is that?
Sir, it will come cos 2 times. Cos 2 times.
Cos 2 times. Cos 2 times. That means we can say cos of 400 pi t. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So either that before the cos 400 pi t, there will be a minus sign or plus sign. So when we are talking about the frequency, we need not to bother about the sign, what is the amplitude of that signal or what is the sign over there. Okay, so if we are interested on the only the frequency term, so that means the finally we will get the cos of 400 pi t. So from there also we can find out what is the frequency. So it will be your 200. Okay, so now if the frequency is equal to 200, that means what should be the Nyquist rate? Nyquist rate, it will be 400 and Nyquist interval 1 by 400. Okay, and that is in second. And the third terms, there is a two summation of these two terms. What is the your Nyquist rate or Nyquist frequency for this signal?
The same as B, 400.
Same as the B. What is the reason for that? Because there is two signals
summation.
there. Summation is there. So basically, when we do the sampling, what we did normally, we consider the highest frequency component. So if we look at these two terms, so this for this term the frequency is 100, for this term frequency is your 200. So whenever we do the sampling and we calculate the Nyquist criteria, in that case we consider only the higher frequency component. So higher frequency component equal to your 200. Okay, so that means we can find out the Nyquist rate equal to 400 and Nyquist interval equal to 1 by 400. Okay. Okay.
Sir,
So now, yes.
sorry, in that previous question, can't we just can't we just convert that into frequency domain, and then uh, from there we can just find the F and Fs. It will be in just
That,
3 steps, because
that you can.
sinc square would be Fourier transform of a triangular wave, and from that, using duality property, we can conclude that sinc square tau t would give the Fourier transform of 1 by tau triangular f by tau. So from there we can just say that uh, that tau means here 200. 200 would be the f of that triangular wave. So that double of that wave would be our fs. Means no need to
That
calculate cos and all that.
in that way you can do also. So the thing is that the process you are doing, that should be, means there are, you see that as I told, the convolution property we can use. The thing you are saying that if we represent in the frequency domain, the same thing we will get. But when you represent this term, the g of t, in the frequency domain, that means you need to do the Fourier transform. So in the Fourier transform, you will get the spectrum for g of f, means g of t spectrum. What is the spectrum of that? Now, if you want to calculate the Nyquist rate, so that time you have to take the 2 times of that bandwidth, whatever the bandwidth you will get. You are getting my point?
Yes,
As
sir.
you told, if we just plot that function into the Fourier frequency domain, so basically we know the sinc function, Fourier transform of a sinc function is a rectangular pulse due to the duality. Like that, if we do the if we take the Fourier transform of rectangular pulse, it will give us the sinc function. Similarly, if we take a Fourier transform of a sinc function, it will give us the rectangular pulse. So you can find out the what is the rectangular pulse width. So from that width, you can calculate what is the bandwidth of that g of t. So the bandwidth of g of t you will get, it is 200. Yes. So
Yes, sir.
200, that means using that we can find out what is the frequency Nyquist rate, and that is on positive. I already told that in frequency domain also you can calculate. Okay. Now the third question.
So that bandwidth would be the fs now here. In first question.
Bandwidth. No, bandwidth will be the not fs. Bandwidth of the g of t. This is the bandwidth not equivalent to your f of s. This is the f m. You can say the band. If we do the Fourier transform of this signal, whatever the rectangular pulse will get, in the rectangular pulse there will be a your pulse width will be there, some pulse width. So that pulse width, it will give us the f of m, not f of s.
Sir, it will be in first question. If you plot the rectangular plot, then in that plot it would be minus fm 2 plus fm na. So that 100 that we are getting would be our fm. So that bandwidth would be 200. So that is our answer. So it should be fs.
No. So now
That's what I'm saying.
if sinc function, if you draw this sinc function, what should be the means from where it will start? Minus 100. Okay, you are saying the minus to plus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So sinc
It will be from
function,
minus fm to plus fm, right?
yes.
So bandwidth would be 2 times of fm.
So bandwidth will be FM. How 2 times FM? Minus FM to FM means bandwidth will be FM, no?
FM.
Sorry, I am saying fs. Fs would be 2 times of that Fm.
But you see, when you draw the rectangular pulse, as you told the minus Fm, it will start from the minus Fm to the plus Fm. So in that equation, what is the maximum frequency? That value is your 100. Okay. So 100 means you have take 2 times of the F of M.
Yes, sir.
And you are saying that in that scenario, you are getting the same result. But in this case, how you will get that? Suppose
In
if you
B case.
consider a C case. In C case, if you draw the rectangular pulse, okay, so there are two components will be there. Definitely
One will
the
be rectangular and one will be triangular. And triangular's Fm will be greater than rectangular, so we will consider the bigger one. So
okay. So
according to
if
that.
the but thing is that the whenever you are saying the minus Fm to plus Fm, okay, so that means we are saying what is the frequency of that signal. So now both are same. That way you are saying that minus f of m to f, that is 2 times of f of m. So this is your Nyquist criteria. You want to say like that, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, anyway, the thing is that we need to find out the f of m, and you just take the 2 times of that. Means it's never like that. Whatever the pulse you are getting, so if we take the means maximum value minus the minimum value, it will give us your f of s. Generally, it will be, but it's not true for the all the times. If we take the different type of signal, suppose there is a one shifted version is there, it is shifted. Okay, so in that case, what you will do? Suppose in that case, in condition, I mean C condition, so that whatever the frequency spectrum for this term, sin squared term, it will suppress the value of C. Now, if it is a shifted version, so in that case, how to find out this your spectrum frequency rate, Nyquist frequency rate, how you will calculate? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So say like that, I have a spectrum. So minus 100 to 100, that is your sync function for the sync function. Another pulse is there, which is started from 100 to 150, say. Okay. And definitely minus side also there. So in that case, you are saying that we will consider from the minus 150 to plus 150 to finding the Nyquist rate. Is it?
Maybe. But for shifted, I think we should
Definitely, you
again.
see, the thing is that whatever the spectrum diagram in the is positive x side, so it will be in the negative x side, it is a mirror image of the positive side. When we do the
Yeah.
spectrum diagram of any signal.
Yeah.
Okay, so definitely in that case, if you take the minus to plus, it will normally, generally, it will become 2 times of your f of m. But if we consider the what is the frequency, suppose in that case, if someone asks what is the frequency for this signal, the maximum frequency for this signal, then the answer should be your 200. Even though you can get that 200 from the spectrum diagram, but you need to understand from where to where we have to consider. Okay, so next question, move on. So this is the next question. So, okay, I think we can skip this one. You can do yourself because I am to solve some problem. regarding this. This is also related to your okay. So now move or do some on numerical in the PAM. Okay. Consider a PAM wave transmitted through a channel with the Gaussian noise. Okay, this a little bit different type of question. Okay, so this is the numerical set based on your PAM. So consider a PAM wave transmitted through a channel with the Gaussian noise and minimum bandwidth equal to this. So had the TS equal to your sampling period, the noise is of 0 mean and power spectrum equal to n by 2. PAM signal uses standard pulse GT and its Fourier transform is defined by that. Okay. So by considering a full load sinusoidal modulating wave, so that the PAM and baseband signal transmit have equal SNR for the same average transmitted power. So we need to prove that. Okay. So in that case, what we have to find first? Okay. So normally as it is informed, this is a consider a full load sinusoidal modulating wave. So that means we can consider a sinusoidal signal, say A cos 2 pi f of mt. That is your baseband signal or modulated signal, and we don't know what is the frequency of f of m value. Okay, so denoting the case samples amplitude of signal by a of k, since a is the amplitude, so kth samples will be the a of k, and transmitted pulse a of k into g of t. In AM signal, how do we do? We transmit the sample with the your PAM signal. So definitely the transmitted pulse, it will be AK into GT. Yes or no? What is the transmitted pulse? So that is basically AK into GT. So now if we do the or calculate the transmitted power, so mean value of the transmitted signal power P. So how to calculate the P value? P is the in that case we need to find out the P value and we need to do the estimation. E stand for estimation of that, and that is equal to limit L tends to 0. And this is basically formula you can, I think all of you know, to calculating the power, signal power, transmitted signal power. How to calculate a signal power for its signal? That is the formula. Okay. So basically, limit L tends to 0 by L tends to infinity 1 by 2 times of t, these terms and the signal. Okay. All the value for the signals. So now if we express that expression in terms of summation, we can express, because whatever the sampled value over there, these terms, so can we write that expression in this term? So AK is divided into two parts. One is the AK and another is the AN. Both are varying from minus L to L. So that means it will give us the same value and GT square dt. Okay. So now if we rearrange that expression again, so we can write that terms limit L tend to infinity 1 by 2L TS summation of L equal to minus L to L, N equal to minus L to L, E of estimation of these two terms into integration of minus LTS to LTS g square t dt. Okay, so now what is the value we will get from there? So what is the value for this term? So basically the value we'll get for this term, it will be a square by 2 when k and n equal to same, both are same equal, otherwise we'll get 0. Okay, so that is the condition. So basically these terms will give us some value, and that value equal a square by 2 when k equal to n, otherwise we'll get the 0. Okay, so now if we put that value,
Sir,
yes,
sir, how did we arrive at this condition that E of AKN equal to this?
this is the property of the estimation property, because when we are multiplying the two signal, when they are converging, so that time it will be the same, because the amplitude of the same signal. Okay, so when n equal to k, so convergence or divergence is there. So basically when k equal to n, in that case it will have a convergence, other time it will be the divergence, and it will be the opposite phase. So basically it will cancel out. Okay,
So that AKGT term, what is that?
which term?
Means you wrote na power is AK into GT. How means? Can you explain that AKGT?
ak into gt previously.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically whenever we transmit a signal, so how to transmit a signal, means any signal. So basically in the PAM signal, so normally we never send the sample. We send the sample with a pulse, with a signal, and that is the PAM signal. So normal the PAM signal is the G of T. G of T is the standard pulse, and along with the G of T we send the sample value. So what is the sample value of this expression? A cos 2 pi f of 2 pi fmt. So that is ak. I am considering a single pulse, a sample, and that is in the kth samples. Okay, so kth sample is represented by the ak. So that means the pulse we are transmitting, that is equal to ak, means if we say the kth pulse, what is the kth pulse? So kth pulse will be your ak into gt, that is the kth pulse which will transmit through the channel. Now is that clear?
The AK is the sample of A cos 2 pi FMT.
ak is a sample of a cos 2 pi fmt. So definitely when we take the samples value, so for the different position only the amplitude will take, because in when you take the samples it's indicating the what is the amplitude of that position. Yes or no? There is no terms of phase or your frequency. In which samples, so there is a, if it is kth samples, so in the kth position what should be the amplitude of this signal, and the amplitude of this signal at the kth position will be the ak. So ak will transmit along with the pulse through the transmission means channel transmission medium, and that pulse basically it will be equivalent to transmitted pulse. If we consider the pulse is transmitting through the channel, that is a transmitted pulse, and the transmitted pulse will be equal to ak into g of t. Okay,
And what is L, sir, in LTS expression and next expression?
okay, so limit is there. So that means when we doing the operation of your say power. So in this power, basically what we need to calculate. So when you find out a or when you calculate a your power, so what is the expression for that power?
Integration of amplitude square.
Amplitude, that is the energy, na? Periodic, for the periodic signal we calculate the power. So limit t tends to 0. Time period will be there, na? One time period.
Divided by time period of.
So that means basically when we calculate the power, so how do we do? We take limit t tends to 0, 1 by 2t, okay, integration of minus t to t, and that function value square means g of t or x of t square dt. So I think I missed the value of L with the TS will be there, because this is true at the part of your time period of the signal, the pulse. Okay, so basically, so that should be there. I think in this expression definitely, because if we see the power equation, so the limit t tends to 0. So that is when t is the time period in this signal. Basically, we are calculating what is the time period for that signal. Okay, so basically L over here is the width of the pulse. Basically, in this numerical, what we have to do, we have to calculate the PAM signal, use the standard. So, okay, this okay, SNR value and average transmitted power we need to calculate. Okay, so first, if we consider the as it is given that we can consider a sinusoidal, full loaded sinusoidal modulating wave. So we have considered a modulating tone wave A equal to cos 2 pi fmt. So here the kth sample amplitude is your AK. If we take any samples value at the kth amplitude, sample's amplitude will be the AK for that signal. So that means we need to find out the transmitted pulse, and what is the transmitted pulse? AK into GT. Okay. So basically GT is the PAM signal and AK is the sampled. So that product will give us the transmitted pulse. The pulse is transmitting through the channel. Okay. So now if we want to calculate the power, what is the means in this term AKGT? AK is the discrete term and GT is here continuous signal. Okay. So now that P, if we want to calculate the mean value of the transmitted signal power, so normally we know the P equal to, for a constant means a continuous wave, the P equal to limit t tends to 0, 1 by 2t integration of minus t to t gt square dt. That is the formula for calculating the power. So what we are doing, we are doing the same thing over here. So if for stand for the estimation, we are finding the estimation value. So now we have considered what should be the time period over here, because you see the number of samples within a time period that is equal to say L means normally it is given that PS is the sample period. Okay, so that means we can say the sampling time means total time duration or the period of the signal that will be equal to your LPS. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So now, so that means LTS indicating the T. So now if that means normally the limit tends to infinity. So LTS tends to infinity and T is the constant. So we can say L tends to infinity. So that's why the limit L tends to infinity 1 by 2T, and as I told the T equal to LTS, and we are doing the summation, and this is the summation of k equal to minus L to L. That means basically k equal to minus infinity to infinity. For your when we calculate the energy for a discrete signal, how we do that? So we do the integration summation for all the samples and we take the square. So that's why the summation is there AK into GT whole square. So now is there any doubt?
So how LTS is the time period?
How?
You said the LTS is the time period. How means once again can you?
Okay. So suppose for the sample period is TS and L number of samples is there in a single time period. Okay. So what should be the total time period? L number of sample present within a time period and time duration for the each sample is your TS. So what should be the time period?
Okay, sir. Understood.
It's understood now?
Yes.
Okay. So now I hope there is no doubt in this expression. So now what we are doing, we are just AK is the constant term, so we are taking it outside of the integration, rearranging the summation and integration. Those basically in this next step, what we do? So square term is there. Okay. So that square term we divided the summation is divided into two different, say for two different samples. So when we take the two different samples, that means we are finding the what is the correlation between these two samples. Okay. So we are taking two samples value and this is the expression then we can write. Okay. So because the AK square is there, now if we want to see what should be the correlation between the other samples. So that means the these terms, it can be written like this. Yes or no? Okay. So now if yes,
What is means how AKN means? So
you
AKN.
see AK square, okay, and this is a summation, two summation term is there in this first expression. Okay. So now if we say instead of single AK, there is another samples which is represented by the AN. That means AK into AN, and what we are doing, the two value N and K is varying from minus L to L. So now when K equal to N, that time we will get the exact AK square value. So the main reason for taking two different samples value, we want to check what should be the correlation between these two sample. Okay. Is that clear? That one?
Yes.
Okay. So now in third line, we just rearrange the terms. So normally what we have done, the limit L tends to infinity 1 by 2L Ts in summation of, we are taking this summation and this sample value outside the integration because it is not depending on the T. So we are taking it out. So summation of k equal to minus L to L, summation of n equal to minus L to L, E of AKAN, and integration of minus LTS into to LTS G square T dt. Okay. Okay. So now T is the sample period, already I told. So now the thing is that when we are doing the mean value, so E of estimation of AK into AN, it will give us A square by 2 when A equal to, by K equal to N. Otherwise it is 0. Okay, so that means whatever the two different variable we have taken, it will multiply the value when both values are same. If the two value variables k and n are different, in that case it will give us the 0. So from this term we will, what we will get? We will get a square by 2. Okay,
So why it will be 0 for other?
because you see that when we are means multiplying on sample with the another samples, okay, and we are taking the your average value over there. Estimation means it is calculating the average value. Okay, so due to that, and you see the what is the consider baseband. Okay, this is the property of your. So basically, due to that, it will be the two different samples. It will be your destructive when both are different and constructive when it will be the same. Okay, so if you tone modulation means have you remember the autocorrelation for the tone function? What is the meaning by the autocorrelation? So basically, when we multiply a sample value with the shifted version of that sample value, okay, and this on relation is there. So now, basically, this term will give us the a square by 2 when k equal to n and other case 0. So that means we can write p equal to this a square by 2 LTS integration of minus infinity to infinity g square t dt. Okay. So now using the Lalit energy theory, in energy theory it is given when we calculate the energy. So that means we do the integration over the time in the time domain. So now the Rayleigh energy theorem says if we do the integration in the frequency domain also, we'll get the energy of that signal. So now according to the theorem, we can write integration of minus infinity to infinity g square t dt, that's equal to integration of minus infinity to infinity mod of gf whole square dt. So now the what is the value of gf is given, already that value is given in this question. So it is within range, then it will be your 1 by 2 bt, otherwise it is 0. So now if we place that value, so minus bt to bt, gf will be there, and gf value equal to 1 by 2 bt whole square. Now you will simplify that, we will get that expression. Yes or no?
Sir,
Okay.
that expectation of AKAN is equal to a square by 2 when k is equal to n.
Hmm.
Sir, so if we means then that will hold true for infinite number of times. Suppose k is equal to
But
k is,
other terms for, okay, let me, for the other terms, when k not equal to n, it is 0. It is 0, na? So that means so only we have value when k equal to n, and when k and n are different, that time it is 0. So that means only this term will be remain.
so suppose means k is varying from minus infinity to infinity. So suppose k is equal to -2, then when n is equal to -2, then e of a minus 2 will be a square by 2. So similarly for k is equal to -3, n is equal to -3.
Okay. Okay. Then in that case, what should be the total summation? So that means there should be a L number of multiplication of a square to, yes or no? So now the limit tends to 0 is there. Means L tends to infinity is there. So what will happen? So when we do the limit function for this term, as you told, k equal to minus means say -1, n equal to -1, k equal to -2, n equal to -2, like that. Yes or no?
Yes.
So in that case, you see, when I retain the next expression, I remove the limit, because there will be, the thing is the limit will not be there.
So L should also be not there. LL will cancel.
L also cancelled. Okay, LL will cancel. A square by 2 ts. Okay. Yes. This thing minus infinity. So it's changed, because you see, we replace the whole terms with the minus infinity. That's why in this expression minus infinity, L will be cancelled. L will cut. So basically a square by 2s.
So there will be 2L means 2L will.
So basically, what will happen? This L will be cancelled also. So that since I copy from previous. Okay. So in this equation, when we do this simplify using this formula, what will happen? We will get only a square by 2 ts, an indication of this term. Is that means? Are you getting that?
So a square by ts, na sir, because in numerator also 2L will come now, because minus L to L. So means.
So what is that formula? Minus 1 a square by 2 also is there, na?
Acha. Okay.
A square by, so a square by 2 is there. So that means it will be, L will not be here, and the remaining portion is okay. Actually, I copied from the previous equation, so I forgot to remove this. Okay. So now, if we do the integration, so we are getting this value. Okay. So now if we replace that value over there, what we'll get? We'll get p equal to a square by 4 ts bt. Now you see that in that expression there is a no L, because when we are replacing this value over there, so there was a mistake, L. Okay. So now p equal to a square by 4 ts bt. So that is the transmitted power of the PAM pulse, transmitted pulse. Okay. Okay. So now what do you have to calculate? The average signal power at the receiver output is a square by 2. So hence the output SNR is, what should be the output SNR? So output SNR, normally when we transmit a signal, A cos omega c means omega 2 pi FMT. So the power will be for that signal power. So signal power will be a square by 2. So signal power is your a square by 2, and the noise is equal to, we know, bt into n naught. Okay. So now if we simplify this in terms of p, we'll get that terms a square by 2 bt n naught, and using the previous equation, the expression of p equal to, what was that? A square by 4 ts bt. So we are getting that expression. Is that clear?
So that P once again.
P is this value.
Where from?
So we now calculating, you see, up to this there is no problem. So now we calculating the integration value. What should be the value of this integration part? Okay. So that integration part for this examples, that is equal to, it is coming 1/2 pt. Okay. We just replace 1/2 bt over there. So we are getting a square by 4 ts dt.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now at the signal, what is the signal power? Signal power will be a square by 2 and noise power equal to your bt n naught. So signal to noise ratio a square by 2 bt into n naught. So that means we can write a square by 2 bt n naught. So now using, if we replace the a square bt from the previous equation, that means over here. So a square bt equal to 4 pts. From here, a square by bt equal to 4 pts. So we are replacing over here 4 pts, and these two will cancel. So 2 pts by n naught. Okay. So now,
Sir, what is means which power is denoted by P? Means P is denoting.
P is the transmitted power. So in the transmitted power, what is there? Your PAM signal as well as the modulated signal, that is equal to AK GT. P is the power of AK into GT. Your sample value along with the, you see, when we calculate the P. So P is basically it is given the mean value of the transmitted signal power. And what is the transmitted signal? The transmitted pulse or signal equal to AKGT. Okay. So now we'll get the SNR value is this. Now in that, if we choose the BT value, bit rate, that's equal to 1/2s. So in that case, what will be there? SNR value will be equal to P by BT N naught. Okay. So now it shows that the PAM and baseband signal transmitted have the same SNR for the same average transmitted power with AWGN, means wide Gaussian, means additive wide Gaussian noise, assuming that use of the minimum transmission bandwidth possible. That means minimum transmission bandwidth is possible means when we are doing the sampling at just 2 times of your sampling, means your maximum value. Okay. So this, I think the calculation we need to do, what is the transmitted power and the SNR value. So the next numerical, what is there? So we just gone through this statement and try to solve it. What is there?
Sir, in previous, what was N naught, sir?
The noise power.
And BT was the bandwidth.
Bandwidth. So total when we calculate the BT is your transmission bandwidth. You see that in the numerical problem statement it is given. Thus, N naught is equal to power spectrum density for your noise is given in this, and the band limited signal, the BT is already given. The minimum bandwidth BT. Okay. So that is given. Okay. So now move to the next problem. 30 minutes over. So now in this problem, what is there? 24 voice signal are sampled uniformly, and then time division multiplexing. Already I hope all of you know the time division multiplexing. The sampling operation use the flood of samples with 1 microsecond duration, and the multiplexing operation include the provisioning of synchronization by adding extra pulse, sufficient amplitude, and also 1 microsecond duration. That means whatever the synchronized pulse we are adding, it has also 1 microsecond duration. So how do you have to know? The highest frequency component of the voice signal equal to 3.4 kilohertz. Assume the sampling rate is this. Calculate the spacing between the successive pulse of the multiplexed signal and repeat the calculation assuming use of the Nyquist rate sampling. Okay. So two things is there we need to calculate. Then how to calculate this thing, anyone? So sampling rate is equal to 8 kilohertz. So for A, question A means part of question A, first part. Sampling rate is given 8 kilohertz. So that means what is the sampling period? 1 by 8,000, and that will give us equivalent to 125 microsecond. Okay. So now in this 125 microsecond, how many samples we are sending? So 24 voice channel, that means 24 plus 1 sample synchronous pulse. That means 25 samples we are sending within 125 microsecond. So what is the duration for a single sampled value? That will be your 5 microsecond. Okay, let's see. We'll get the channel TS equal. Okay, channel allotted for each voice signal equal to TC, and that equal to your 5 microsecond. Okay, and one thing is there. Use the flood of samples of 1 microsecond. So that means the pulse width will be there for 1 microsecond, and for 4 microsecond, so there will be no pulse. You are getting this thing? Basically, how we'll draw? Suppose from this point to this point equal to 5 microsecond. So for 1 microsecond, there will be pulse, and remaining there will be 0. Okay. So now the second terms, if we do the calculation assuming the use of Nyquist rate sampling. So what is the sampling rate over here? Nyquist sampling rate for this signal, what is the Nyquist sampling rate?
6.8.
6.8 kilohertz. So if we want to calculate using the 6.8 kilohertz sampling frequency, so what is the sampling period? T equal to 1 by 6.8 kilohertz. So now I think if we calculate, it will come on 47 microsecond. Similarly, we can find out what is the value of TC, and TC equal to 147 by 25, and it will give us the 6.68 microsecond. Okay, so that means the time between the pulse, means difference between two pulse equal to 5.68 microsecond. Okay. Okay. Next, so this is another example, and it is related to your quantization error. Okay. So what is there? A speech signal has a total duration of 10 seconds, and it is sampled at the rate of 8 kilohertz and then encoded. Signal to quantization noise or signal to noise ratio, basically you can say the quantization error. So that is required for the system equal to 40 dB. Calculate the minimum storage capacity needed to accommodate the digitalized speech signal. For your calculation, you can model the speech signal as a sinusoidal signal. So actually the speech signal, the time duration is 10 seconds is given. And since we don't have any such kind of speech signal, we are considering the speech signal as a sinusoidal signal. Okay. So now tell me how to calculate this. Okay. As I told that SNRO that's equal to 3P by M square max into 2 to the power 2R. Okay. And basically, since we are considering the sinusoidal signal, so what will happen that P value equal to M max. If the thing is that you have to use this formula whenever the P value is given. Okay. Since the P value is, it is mentioned the speech signal as a sinusoidal signal, and what is the max amplitude of a sinusoidal signal? The maximum value square by 2. So basically what we will get? We will get 3 by 2 into 2 to the power 2R. R is the quantization rate in bit per sample. So that means how many bits for a quantization level. Okay. Now what is there? We have then dB. So how to calculate next question that we need to find out the value of R from there. So basically first we need to convert that value into the dB, and if we convert that value into dB, so it will be this SNR dB that's equal to 10 log 10 3 by 2 2 to the power 2R. So now from there what we will get? It will be 2R in approximately 1.8 plus 6R. We already calculate that formula when we discuss about the quantization error. Okay, so you can use that formula directly in case of sinusoidal signal. For other signal you cannot use it. Okay, so now from this expression we need to find out what is the value of R and what is the required value of SNR. It is given 40 dB. So if we replace the 40 over there, what is there? So we can find out from this equation what is the value of R, and tell me what is the value of R.
6.37.
6.37. Okay, so basically 6.37 is there. That means we are taking the lower value. Okay, 6.37, that is 6.37. Oh, sorry, higher value we have to take in, because you see, if for any, it is not always we have to take the ceiling value. When we calculate the number of bits required to represent a quantization level, so 6.36, so it will be taken as a 7 bit. So per samples it's required 7 bit. Now calculate the capacity of that signal. So how to calculate that capacity? You see, the sampling rate is given, that is 8 kilohertz. So that means we have 8,000 samples per second, and for each samples it is required 7 bits. So how many bits will be required for 1 second? 7 into your 8,000, and for how many seconds the sample is there? 10 seconds. So total capacity required 10 into 8,000 samples per second into 7 bits per sample. Okay, is that clear? So that is equivalent to your 56 kbps. kb. It will be the kb when we are talking about the capacity, not kbps. Okay, 560 kb. So that much of capacity is required to store that signal. Is that clear? Any doubt?
No, sir.